Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to be talking about the second live-action remake of a classic Disney animated film, Aladdin. So this film is directed by Guy Ritchie, the guy that brought you the Sherlock Holmes film starring Robert Downey Jr. So the plot is very simplistic. I mean, it's a Disney film. The street urchin named Aladdin bumps into this princess, and at this point, he doesn't really know she's a princess. She's just another girl walking down the streets. He thinks she can maybe be a handmaiden to the princess. He immediately falls in love with this girl, and he's gonna do whatever it takes to be with her. So on the flip side of this, we have Jafar. Now, Jafar is basically second best in this whole royal situation. He's second to the Sultan, and he always wants more power. He's always looking to be the best. So what does he do? He seeks higher power. He goes to the Cave of Wonders because something in there could possibly make him Sultan, make him the best. What he's basically doing for the first part of this movie is looking for someone who could be that diamond in the rough, looking for someone who could venture into this cave and resist the temptations of all the jewels and just pick out that one specific item that can make him Sultan. So with all that said, I'm not gonna lie, I was super critical of this film from the start. I mean, I heard that Will Smith got cast as the genie. Oh no, like, Robin Williams did an amazing job in the original, and then you have Will Smith, the guy who's been acting, like Jeremy Jahns put it, Will Smithish for the past 15 years. I mean, most of his movies for the past 15 years, he's kind of acted the same. There is a few little exceptions here or there. So, then they have the images that leak. Well, the images that were released, I should say. Will Smith does not have the blue makeup on. He's not blue at all. He doesn't look like a genie. He just looks like Will Smith. So people are chomping on him right away. Will Smith assures everyone, no, don't worry, I'm going to be blue. And I really liked what he said in an interview. Now, Robin Williams took his stand-up comedian persona and channeled that into the genie's voice for the original animated Aladdin film. So, Will Smith, I mean, he was in Men in Black, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he had rap albums with DJ Jazzy Jeff, so he channeled that hip-hop, cool type of goofy persona into this one as well, and for the most part, it worked. So Naomi Scott plays Princess Jasmine, and I was really happy for her because she was great as Kimberly in the Power Rangers film, and I was really sad to see that that film most likely will not be getting a sequel. I mean, she's in a freaking huge Disney film now, so she's gonna blow up after this. And not only that, but the new company bought it out. Either way, we're talking about Aladdin here. So I'm really happy to see her in this film, and she did really well. She was beautiful, she was funny, and she sang really well. Mina Masood or Masad, I'm definitely butchering that name, but I've never actually seen him in anything before, but he did a really good job at this Aladdin too. He was funny, he's charming, the chemistry between him, Will Smith, and Naomi Scott, they all worked and flowed so well together. I'm actually jealous of him the whole movie because he is an awesome pet monkey that steals shit, going out with a princess. Like, this dude does not give a shit about anything. He doesn't care about standards or anything like that. He sneaks into the royal palace to meet, at this time, he thinks is one of the princess's handmaidens. Little does he know, that's actually Princess Jasmine. But he doesn't care about any of that. He doesn't care about any type of standards or positions, political positions, none of that. He just goes for it. There's a lot of other supporting cast members in this film. It was such a diverse cast, and all of them did a really good job. Jafar did a good job. The Sultan, Princess Jasmine's dad, did a really good job. And I will say this was a little bizarre. Alan Tudyk, the guy who played K2SO in Star Wars Rogue One, King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph, he's the villain Mr. Nobody in Doom Patrol, the latest DC series. He plays the voice of Iago, the bird. It wasn't really like Gilbert Godfrey. I understand you're doing a more realistic approach. So it's more or less, it's like, rap, rap, I see Aladdin, rap, rap. Like, kind of like that. It's not like he's talking with other people, interacting all the time. Like I said, he has little one-liners here or there while making his parrot noise. It's like, rap, rap, there he goes, there he goes. Like, goofy shit like that. Okay, so the big chunk of this movie, the huge part that everyone's worried about, how was everyone singing? How were the performances? And you know what? I was actually pleasantly surprised. Like I said earlier, I heavily judged this movie before it came out, and I try not to do that, but there was just so much trashy things I was seeing with this film early on. All of Aladdin's songs, Jasmine's songs, Will Smith's songs, surprisingly, were all really well. They were fun, they were energetic. I mean, I actually want to learn how to dance. Like, I would love to do some crazy choreography like that. I'm super jealous of everyone who got to participate in the film, and even all the background dancers too. If I'm not mistaken, the original composer from the first Aladdin film actually recorded a new song for Jasmine with this one. I think they worked together with the people from La La Land to create a new song for her, and that flowed really well. I mean, it's been 18 or so years since I've seen the original, so there's a lot I don't remember. So there's little things here and there I had to look up, and sure enough, I couldn't tell that the main song that was exclusively created for this film for her was actually a new song. That's how well it flowed with the rest of the film. And alright, for the most part, Will Smith's little hip-hop flair and rendition of Friend Like Me, that was probably the most fun I've had with the entire film. Any musical act that he was involved in that film was just really cool, and you could tell Will Smith had a fun time doing this, and like, I felt how he felt when he was probably filming that. Like, I just felt happy, I felt energized. Now, there's a little bit of Will Smith rapping in this movie, but for the most part, he's actually singing. And can Will Smith sing? He's alright, but just like Beauty and the Beast, you can tell there's definitely a little bit of auto-tune, or maybe a decent amount of auto-tune involved when Will Smith is singing, just so he can hold these big notes. Regardless, you can tell she's not a singer. Stick to rapping, and I mean, his singing was passable. It's more or less like how Maui's singing was in Moana. It was just for fun. Like, you're thinking about how fun this scene is and how fun the musical act was. You're not really thinking about how good his singing is. And I know what you're thinking, a lot of people probably go back and rewatch the original, or the original is something close they keep to their hearts because they grew up with this. I mean, I grew up with it. But what I've been doing lately, like I did this with Dumbo and a lot of other films, is I actually don't watch the original again at the age of 27 now before I see the new film. Just because of the fact that I don't want to be one of those people who either read the book first before they see a book adaptation, or watch the original version of a film 30 million times before they see the live action adaptation, because they'll be like, oh, that wasn't good enough, I didn't like that. His hair was red in the original and now it's blue. The whole film is complete and utter shit. Like, trust me, I'm not like that at all, but it's very hard when you read something or hold something so close to your heart to enjoy when someone messes with it later on down the road. Maybe that's why I enjoyed this film so much, but from what I can remember of the original, it didn't tarnish anything the original had going for it. There were certain little plot changes and backstory they put in here or there, and I like that. You can't have an exact copy of the original film, slap a new coat of paint on it, and expect people to buy it. I mean, they're gonna do it because it's Disney, but at least with this, they're adding stuff in. They're adding characters. They're adding more depth and backstory to these characters we knew and loved from the original. So now I'm going to talk about the things I didn't really like too much. So it's not a lot, but the CGI was dodgy at times. I mean, they're on a magic carpet ride, and the background does look green screening. Like, not like modern day green screen, like 2002 green screen has done better stuff than what I saw in this movie. I'm just... Oy. And when I'm seeing Will Smith as the genie, when he's all in blue, he's got the pointy ears, there's times, I don't know what it is. His face just looks bloated. I don't know whether at that point he was wearing a bald cap and they just did motion capture, but I don't know why. He just looks fat when he's the genie. I mean, I know the original genie's face was like round and stuff like that, but it just looked awkward at certain times. So one other thing I didn't really like was the movie ended. They had this cool little dance number during the end credits, but after the end credits, they roll the regular credits, and I hear another one. Really? You got freaking DJ Khaled, that doofus of a DJ, to be featured on one of Will Smith's tracks? I don't know what Disney was thinking. Like, that dude is embarrassment to the music industry, and like, I don't know anyone that I'm friends with that thinks he's cool. There was one thing that I was like sort of nitpicky about at first. Like, you see Will Smith as the genie, and then you just see him with his regular skin. He's looking normal. And I was really worried we were going to have some Spider-Man 3 Topher Grace type shit where he's like wanting to get more face time just because, hey, he's Will Smith. I want my face everywhere. And there's times I definitely did feel that, but for the most part, they worked that physical, real appearance into the plot well enough that it's like, alright, yeah, I can buy that. So, all in all, great acting for the most part, great special effects. Will Smith, surprisingly, one of the standouts of this film. The singing and musical numbers were fun, they were energizing. Certain actors are auto-tuned in this movie. And yeah, it kind of stands out. And I'm not going to do a comparison from this one to the original because the original is so far back in my mind. Not that I didn't like it, I loved it, but it's been 18 years, so I wanted to kind of go into this with that fresh mindset, not remembering too much about the original besides the songs. And all your songs from the original are in this one. They might be tweaked a little bit or altered to fit the tone of the movie, but it all fits perfectly together. So I think this is one of the better live action animated adaptations that Disney's done. It's definitely better than Dumbo. I haven't seen A Jungle Book. I want to get around to seeing that. I've heard that's fantastic, and I know The Lion King's coming later this year, so we'll see how that goes. This movie was a pleasant surprise, guys. 8.5 out of 10.